Come on. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Who is doing it? Do it.
Do it.
All of it.
Do it.
Come on. Do it now.
And I will do the rest.
The battery, and then you want to repeat this process over and over and over. But what you really want to do is you want to go as fast as you can without a capacitor, for the simple fact is you want to put a lot of this radiant energy to the source.
Okay. Go back here a little bit. Talk about this image here. So in the Bedini, I'm going to compare this to the Bedini SG single drive coil, single trigger winding, bifilar. Okay. The bifilar, the trigger winding is not shown here, but make sure the audio is working. Okay, we're good. So the trigger winding is not here, but their drive coil is here, and there's two drive coils, not one. And those are the two coils you see. Whatever method you use to trigger the source to energize the two coils is up to you. But you have to trigger both the positive and the negative from the source to those two drive coils. And that's a double pole switch method, positive and negative, both poles, double pole. And that's how you would energize the coil, however you do it. But you don't energize the two coils at the same time. You energize one at a time. And if I play the video, you'll see they don't switch together. So there might be a lot of confused minds out there as how this circuit is going to do that without shorting out. And I'll try to walk you guys through that right now. And let's go to the left side. And you see the switches are closed on the source battery to the drive coil. There's two drive coils. So the left side source is now charging the left side drive coil, but the right side source is not doing anything, and it's being isolated from the left side by the diode, the high voltage diode, on the plus terminal of the right side battery. So in that method, while the right side is open and the left side is closed, you isolate the right side portion of the circuit. So, and that right side is the right coil with the, and you can see the two lines, the two circuit lines heading to the left from the right side coil. And since the two switches underneath that coil are open, you don't really need to trace that at this time because there's nothing going on there, but you can trace the two lines from the right side coil, the two circuit lines, over to the left side. And one of those lines has a high voltage diode pointing to the positive terminal of the left side battery. So that diode, paying attention to that diode on the left, on the positive terminal of the left side battery, while in this action here, the left side is being switched from the source to the drive coil on top of it, you are connecting to the right side circuit, but the diode is isolating the right side from actually connecting to the left battery. And if anything's connected on the right side, it's the right side coil because the right side battery and its switches are open. And at the same time, you have the left side battery and its negative terminal going up to charge the negative side of the coil, and that line heading to the right, that circuit has a diode facing the right side battery. So the right side battery plus cannot feed to the left by that diode blocks it. So the diode is blocking it's doing the isolation for you on this between the left and right side. Those two diodes are doing the isolation for you during the switching. And I'll explain that again. So when the right side is open on the two switches, right? So the coil don't get charged. But look at the diode. It's facing the plus terminal of the right side battery. So any positive potential coming out of that battery will be blocked, heading to the left. And that opens the circuit for the right side to the left, so meaning that the right side has no connection to the left because of that diode. If the switch were closed, closed on the positive terminal of the right side battery, then I'll go to that position here. It's closed now. The right side battery is closed, and the plus terminal can go up to charge the coil, and the minus hence, and then look at the plus terminal of the right side battery going up to charge the coil, and you see that line going to the left, and it connects to the negative of the left side battery, which is not a problem because it only is a problem if the right side negative is connected to the left side positive at that moment. And since the right side negative is heading over the top of the two coils, that line is going to the right, up top, over the two coils, coming down to the left side battery positive terminal, but the switch is open at that moment. So that's why the right side negative terminal of the battery cannot reach the left side positive terminal of the left battery because the switch is open right now. But the right side positive terminal of the battery can reach the left side negative directly when the switch is closed on the right side, as it is now. Yeah, that is confusing. I'm just going to do it anyway and speak what I'm trying to see here, or what I see here, and why this works. And it took me a while to get this circuit right. Before I had only one switch on each source to the coil above it, and that was not working out. It turned out the flyback rebound or whatever was being canceled on the line instead of over the battery terminals, which is what my goal was. And adding a second switch, double pole switching this, achieved that beautifully. And there's more than one way to do this. with one battery and a single coil, and still do the capture of the flyback efficiently without canceling it on the line. And I have those methods on my channel as well. There's more than one way to do this. I just like this one the most because how do I explain it? Other ways you can do it with a single battery, single coil, and you can energize the coil and have it fly back to the same battery with double pole switching and the needed circuitry. Those methods are great. I like them. With that is the thing about that is the source is receiving charge right after it gave a load, and it's getting charged via the feedback, the flyback, feedback, whatever, and that's great. And certain types of systems can handle that, like capacitors or whatever, or efficient electrolyte type dense batteries. But I don't think it's so good for lead acid. I don't think they can receive a charge so quick. And with this method, you can have one battery get loaded by a coil, and then you can unload that battery and that coil into a different battery, and that other battery to the right will be the ones that's not, at the time that it received charge, it's not loading anything. That's why I like this. Well, the same thing with the single battery, single coil flyback, is technically at the time that battery is being loaded, it's not receiving charge either, because, it's just getting the charge a lot quicker after it's been loaded. With this circuit, you give it more time in between the two, in between the source and how long it takes for it to receive a charge from the flyback. You give the loaded battery more time after it's been loaded to receive charge with this circuit. And you can slow down the switching to a very low frequency. You just want to make sure that your duty cycle on each double pole switch, and by the way, there's 2 double pole switches here operating independently, one for each source to each coil, and you trigger them, stagger trigger them. But you could slow down that frequency, but just make sure your duty cycle is not very long, because then you'll be wasting power. And that requires a special switching device. Maybe an Arduino can do that. I know an Arduino can do that, or an Allegro can do that. You can set the duty cycle on that to 1 millisecond or whatever, and you can have it stay off for a second. And that's plenty of time for a loaded battery to be ready to receive charge, in my opinion. I think a loaded battery, if the load is minimal and you don't give it a heavy load, you could pretty much speed up the frequency. But if you're loading that battery too hard, with too much current pulling out of that battery, you need to slow down your frequency. So it's up to how you want to do it. But if you keep the impedance high on your drive coils and the current consumption to a minimum, you keep the current low, the impedance high, you keep the current low like that on your consumption with those coils. And by doing that, the loading battery is not receiving a huge load, so it can take the charge right away after that. It's only giving a small load to a coil with high impedance, So in that respect, it's pretty much ready to receive a charge. It's not under any stress, So you just speed up your frequency in that situation. If your duty cycle is not so long and you're not consuming a lot of power, and you keep a very short duty cycle, and then you can minimize your off time because the source battery is not stressed, and therefore it's ready to receive a charge right away. And so you could speed up the frequency in that way. High frequency. If you're using high impedance coils, and the battery should do just fine receiving a charge after giving a minimal load. I mean, if you're only pulling, let's say 5 or 10 milliamps off of a battery, that battery can be charged at the same time it's doing that, like instantaneous, you know, in my opinion. But if you're pulling like, 100 milliamps, maybe 200 milliamps off a battery or more, you need to give that battery about a second or two before it receives a charge from any type of source, whether it be flyback, back EMF, however you do it. These diodes are high voltage diodes, flyback diodes, but they will also double as blocking diodes for the low voltage. And there you go. I'll get back to the show. What was it, 20 minutes? Sorry about the interruption, guys.
Come on. Do it. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Who is doing it? Do it.
Do it.
All of it.
Do it.
Come on. Do it now.
And I will do the rest.